that this class is going to be prepared for me by beautiful Pam Shaw, but I just want to say thank you, Jesus, because I know that your hearts are ready to receive, and I'm so excited to be your teacher. The name of our class is Let It Be Me. Who wants to think, let that be your chant for this year? Could you just say that? Like NSD. Who? Me. I mean, God, it can be for you, and I'm so excited. I will just tell you guys that to me, this morning, my goal is to give you just 3 pieces of advice. So write this down. Number 1, dream big. Doesn't take any more trouble to dream big than dream little, so you might as well dream big. Dream big. Number 2, take action. You know what? You can come to leadership conference. You can get inspired. You can get excited. But unless we go home and take action, we're going to come back to Leadership 2005 inspired, excited, and in the same place. Only action produces results, not thinking. So get out of your head and get on down the road. And number 3, build offspring. Build offspring sales directors. Mary Kay has this quote. She said this in one of her speeches. Do you know that within you lies the power? Every step you've ever dreamed of stepping. And within you, the power lies every joy you've ever dreamed of seeing. Within yourself lies everything you've ever dreamed of being. Become everything that God wants you to be. It is within your reach. Dare to grow into your dreams and claim this as your motto. Let it be me. Every one of us has a story to tell. And you know, the more adversity that you've overcome, the greater the story. Isn't that true? The greater the story. And everybody's got a story to tell, but until you're successful, nobody wants to hear it. Right? So now when you're going through the stuff, it's making the greatest story for down the road, okay? I'm going to tell you real quickly my story, so some of you that don't know me, we are in the Pearl Seminar, and it has been such a joy to be the Queen of the Pearl Seminar 2 times. But because we have the emeralds in the house, and we are proud to have you. And I'll tell you, I was originally an emerald. I was an emerald first, and then I became a pearl. But I joined Mary Kay in 1981. I was 25 years old. I had a thread of hope, a thin, fragile thread of hope that this would work for me. Can you visualize a little thread? My only son, Matthew, was 10 months old. My husband was not supportive. I was a very insecure young woman with a low self-esteem, but a high self-confidence. Do you know the difference? I used to thought they meant the same thing, but they don't. Low self-esteem, didn't feel very worthy, didn't feel very pretty, didn't feel very abundantly blessed with high IQ or high anything. But I heard Mary Kay say one time, she said, I'll take I can over IQ any day. And I like that. But you know, I was a good student. Solomon was the wisest man that ever lived or that ever will live again. And no matter what your faith is, I just encourage you to read some of the wisest man's words, and they are found in the Bible. In Ecclesiastes 10:10, it says, if the axe is dull and the edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. If the axe is dull and the edge is unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. I was a good student. You were here at Leadership 2004. You were here to learn and grow. You are a good student because you've invested your time, your energy, and your money into being at this conference. What happens when you sharpen the axe? Can you see that axe being sharpened? What happens when you sharpen an axe? It grinds, doesn't it? What happens if you grind? It's iron sharpens iron. You have to grind the iron against the iron. Sparks fly, don't they? Heat, is it friction? Is heat produced? Absolutely. You cannot stand outside of the fire and grow. For the axe to be sharpened, you're going to feel the pain. You've got to get in the heat. And I just want to tell you that for me, the greatest gift of this business has been that we do fall forward to success. It says in Ecclesiastes 11:4, whoever watches the wind will not plant Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. You know what that means to me? Whoever watches the national sales directors go across the stage and whoever looks at the people getting the bumblebees and the cars and the Cadillacs and the Offspring sales directors, their shirts change colors, their checks get bigger, they're looking and watching. They're not moving up. And you guys, so many people, I just want to tell you guys, it's just one of my goals. It's just such an important thing that I want to share with you, that it's not just being in Mary Kay that changes your life. Do you understand that? It's getting into action with what we've learned. Because only when we are passing it on and we're building and developing the leaders around us will we truly be growing into all we were created to be. So don't just watch. You've got to go out there and take action. You've got to get in the field. For me personally, my axe was sharpened at the skincare class. I believe that everything you need to know to be successful in Mary Kay, you learn at the skincare class. The skincare class has been my foundation for 22 years. Your main goal in Mary Kay is to develop the leaders around you, correct? How is that possible? How do you pass it on? How do you transfer skill? How can you develop strong, financially independent, successful offspring directors and build a powerful national area? Is this what you want? You want to just have offspring, or you want strong, financially independent, powerful women of excellence that are racing past you? Isn't that what you want? That you want, not that you got to kick the ball and drag Charlie. You know, that is not what you want. You know, you want people racing, people that are smarter than you, people that are in your space. If my directors are in this room in our area, would y'all stand up, the Williams National area that are here? Give them a big round of applause. Well, let me just tell you guys, every single one of them teaches me every day because they are strong, independent, financially sound women of excellence because they are building their business the same place that I built mine, and that is in the field. Mary Kay taught us there are 3 ways to lead. Write this down. Number 1, who knows the answer? By example. That's it. How are you leading your people? By example, by example, by example. Somebody just asked me out in the hall. Said, I feel like I'm really not, doing what I need to do for my offspring sales directors. I'm not visiting with them enough. And she's my offspring. I said, how many times have I visited with you? I said, the best way I can lead you is by example. I'm going. Come go with me. If you want to spend time with me, get in the car. We're going to a skincare class. Or get on the plane. We're going across town. Go with them. Don't settle down and huddle. You got to huddle. Go with us, right, while we're working. On the go. That's my on the go selling. Let's go. So, if you want to raise strong, independent, happy, healthy, confident children, you better give them a healthy, happy, confident mama. Right? So if you want to raise strong, confident, healthy, happy, independent sales directors, you better give them that kind of sales directors. Your consultants are being led by your example. And guess what? They are your future directors. Aha! So be clear. I think that's been why my job has always been so easy, and I haven't yo-yoed all of these years. Life happens sometimes and you yo-yo. I went from a Cadillac to a Grand M to a Cadillac. I guess that's yo-yo. But it was life happened in the middle of the story, okay? But I was just as excited about my Grand M as I was my Cadillac because I had a free car. People say, oh, Cindy, you lost your Cadillac. I said, no, I didn't lose it. I know exactly where it is, and I'll get it back. Give me a recommitted person any day over a committed person. It's easy to be doing everything when you're on top, but character is built in how you handle the valleys of your life. Do you understand that? It's easy to handle success, but can you fall down and get back up? And I don't have this ego. Thank you, Jesus. I don't have that. So where I want you to focus on. Let them learn while you earn, just like you did as a consultant building your team. There's no different, you guys. They see what you do. Rarely have I ever held a skincare class in my 22 years alone. Rarely, rarely, rarely. I believe that you are doing the work, but I believe your people aren't seeing you do it. I believe you kind of separate the two things. I'm going to go be a director, and maybe I'm going to go be a consultant, and I'm going to go build a national area. It's all the same thing. I have taught for 22 years. Some of you have been in my training classes. I've never taught anything. No matter what the title is, I talk about doing skincare classes. Because that's all I know how to do. It's true. It's the only thing I know how to do. But if you do it well, you don't have to know anything else. Let your people watch you locally do a full circle skincare class. As a sales director, how do you think I'm training my new personal recruits and my new unit members in my hometown? How do I train them? Do I gather them around a little coffee table and tell them everything they're supposed to do? No, I do not. Do I say, get in the car, honey, we got a class to go to tomorrow night? Get in the car. How do you call your family to dinner? Get in the car. How do you train your consultants? Get in the car. Let's go. Okay, that's how you train them. So locally, they need to watch you do a skincare class around the table because it's real life, you guys. It's not pretend. Mary Kay said, I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. Would you love to watch my skincare class? Yes. Your people would love to watch yours. Okay, write this down. The sheep know the shepherd's voice. The sheep know the shepherd's voice. They don't need Pam's voice. They don't need my voice. They need your voice. You are in charge of shepherding your flock. And they need your voice. Record your skincare class. You, on your worst day, is better than the rest of the world outside of Mary Kay on their best day. And they hadn't heard us, so they won't know yours isn't that great. They're brand new. Do you understand? And they want to hear your voice. And you got to make some bad ones to ever get a good one. It's just like your photograph. You ever taken a picture? Like if they take one here, you're going to say, oh, I don't look good. 10 years from now, you go find that picture, you go, dang, I look good. Am I right? Doesn't the picture always look better 10 years later? The tape always sounds better 6 months later. Everything I do, I'm taping myself today. I tape everything. You tape everything. Because just when you think you're not going to be good, it's when you're good. And when the tape recorder is all set up and everything's perfect, you always blow it. And so just tape it all. If it's not good, turn it over, tape over it. If it's good, ka-ching, you got a good one, okay? But tape everything. So then, if I've got a skincare class, I tape them all. I just say I'm training on how to be a better speaker, so I always tape everything I do, and they don't care. Set the tape player on the table. And then if somebody signs up from that skincare class, say, here's your training. Because they were there. They heard it first person. Y'all, isn't that brilliant? But that's how I've done it my whole life. Can you see they were there, so it's such a powerful training to them, right? Okay, so then your out-of-town people, you want to send them your training. But what do you do when you go work with that brand new consultant out of town? Because for me personally, I've held a sales meeting in my hometown every Monday night. I did for 18 years. I have one sales director in that town. For 18 years, I poured my heart out every single Monday night. Prepared for it. Nobody did a better sales meeting than me. For my 4 to 10 to 15, 20 people on a good night. I trained my heart out. There's one sales director, beautiful Jan Holden. Thank you so much for her leading there. But one out of 22 years. If I had not sent some of my training tapes to out-of-town people, I would not be a national sales director. And I'm just telling you, even really famous people had to get out of town to be appreciated. And so I encourage y'all to travel some. And so when you go out of town, what do? I've got this new recruit, brand new. She just came in with inventory. Here's my rule of thought on that. If you order $1,000 or more, I'm coming to see you. I mean, it's not real. I'm telling you, everything I do is simple. I mean, it's because it paid for my trip. Am I right? You invested enough in your business to say in big, loud letters, I'm committed. You spend your money, you're committed. And so I better go see who's home. Right? When you go to somebody's house, and what do you think I do when I go to visit, whether they're in New Jersey or an hour down the road? What do? I hold a skincare class. She's the hostess, and I coach her like she's not in Mary Kay yet. And I call the guests to make sure they're coming. You ever gone someplace to hold their party? Business debut, and it's you and her and her mama? Well, that's your fault because you didn't coach her well. Go back to the basics. Remember, when you can master the basics, there's nothing else you got to learn. What you learn in that arena of the skincare class transfers in everything else. So when you're going out of town, you hold a skincare class in their home, or 2 or 3 or 4, one at 10, one at 2, one at 6. Hold a bunch of them, okay? Promise you, you're going to get better, too. And so she's going to learn it. When you go back to work with her, let's say she gets a couple of team members, and you go back to work with her, what do you do the second and third time? You hold a big skincare class. I call it Face and Case. I've done as many as 300 people in a room before. It's like I'm the conductor of the orchestra. The trays are all out. They've got the product dispensed. The consultants are beside them. They don't say anything. I conduct the whole class. And everyone puts put it on, take it off. How does it feel? Put it on, leave it on. How does it feel? You know, you conduct the whole skincare class. You close the sale. You get them to write their checks or use their credit card. You close the entire sale. You sell the set. Then you book them all for future appointments. Then you do your little story and give an opportunity for them to become a part of the company, just like you would do in a real class. You sell them, book them, recruit them. You don't just sell them and recruit them because you got to rebook, because her friends may be the best part of her deal, right? So I actually teach it the way it's really going to be done. And that helps me thank the adopted director, because then everybody gets to come to that big party. You with me? When she's brand new, I'm going to go to her house, build a relationship. Then the next time I go back to work in the area, and I've built my whole national area by doing facing cases, we call them, because you bring the faces in the cases, and I have all the words. Okay? Now, on-the-go selling has its place. I sell on-the-go almost every day. So I love on-the-go. I'm a big gift seller. I sold $10,000 in holiday gifts my first Christmas in Mary Kay as a consultant. I do a lot. I love gift sales. To me, it's like free money. You don't have to pick out a color for her. I mean, it's just like such easy money because it's just presents. And men were always my market because they're just so easy to sell to. And so I just encourage you, if you need a little extra cash to pay for your expenses at Leadership Conference, go have $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 Valentine's Day sale and get your money back. So you can always go make money. You are starving in an orchard if you don't have a lot of money in Mary Kay, because there are so many avenues of income. Okay, so on-the-go selling has its place. But I believe on-the-go, online, on paper, should be addition to, not in the place of, holding your own personal classes. Listen to this, you guys. At the Future National Workshop that myself and 8 other nationals host in December, we discovered something very interesting. We all got a suite, and we got in our jammies, and we went in the whole day before because we just love being with each other. And we laughed so hard. We laughed every bit of our makeup off. We just giggled and laughed and rolled. You know what we discovered that night? All 9 of us, top nationals in this company, we never did a facial when we were consultants. We never did a facial when we were consultants. We only did classes because in our generation, the thing didn't say 5 classes or 15 faces. It said book 8, hold 5, get the pen. Nobody mentioned faces. So we never wasted time doing onesies. We did groupsies. And we mastered the ability of holding a group's attention. We mastered the ability of coaching the hostess to get the group. We mastered the skills that we own today in that arena. That's why we're so solid today. And I think sometimes, y'all, we've missed that. If you can't do those skills, then you're going to really not be able, in my mind, to pass it on and to build the solid rock foundation of a national area. Okay? So I believe, for me, building a successful Mary Kay business brings wisdom. This leadership position requires all of me. This leadership position requires all of me. It requires me to break through strongholds, slay dragons from my past, stop the generational curse of being a victim. To build a successful Mary Kay career, I cannot stand outside the fire. Iron sharpens iron. No pain, no gain. To build a successful customer base, to make a stranger a friend, build relationship and trust with her, to book her, to coach her, to sell her product, to recruit her, and then teach her how to do what I have done, to pass it on, to pour belief into others, to educate, inspire, counsel, motivate, coach, to empty my cup day after day after day, to be bread broken and wine poured out every day to everybody takes all of me. This is the road less traveled by. It is not the easiest road, but for me, it is the road to wisdom. And what do we know about wisdom? We know that wisdom is supreme. Proverbs tells us to get wisdom. Though it costs you all you have, get understanding. And I believe that the wisdom that we seek to be the great leaders that we are called to be comes from that arena. Isn't that sound too simple to be true? Are you kind of understanding why I believe that, though? Proverbs says, blessed is the one who finds wisdom and gains understanding. And so I just want you to realize that the wisdom that you want to be that leader is going to be found, I believe, in that arena. So is it your goal to develop strong, financially independent, successful offspring sales directors and build a powerful national area? Yes. And when are you going to begin that process of leading by example? Now. Who wants to be in the Power Players Club? Who wants that beautiful 3-tiered pink necklace? Who's already got it? Or you wouldn't be in this class. Oh no, if you're a new director you would be because you just earned it. But you guys, we all have a chance to do that in the next 6 months. We want that necklace to be the example that we have not only been entertained this weekend, but we put into action what we have learned. Does that make sense? And that's my goal. So what are the perks? There are lots of them. The perks of the extra money, the perks of building a national area, the perk of being able to debut your new offspring sales director at career conference, standing on that stage with her. Would you get excited about that? Oh my gosh, there's no greater honor than to have somebody on your arm. So how can you make this happen? Look for the leaders in your unit. These are some things to write down. How are you going to know who to work with? I think this is another thing that we sometimes struggle with because, y'all, we can give so much of ourselves away but to the wrong people. To be bread broken and wine poured out day after day after day to the wrong people is exhausting and frustrating. Wouldn't you agree? So here's what you look. There's two kind of people in your unit. Okay? There's givers and there's takers. Somebody just met me in the restroom and said, I'm the one that sent you that book. I said, oh, I love that. She said, and you sent me back your training CDs. Thank you so much. And I said, well, you can't outgive the giver. See, givers, you can never outgive them. No matter what you give them, they want to give back to you. That's who you want your offspring sales directors to be. Do I look like I'm having fun? Do I look happy? Do you know why? Because my people are givers. They give so much back to me, way more than I could ever give to them. That's why my life is so blessed. The people that you're moving into directorship are probably going to be with you the rest of your life. Pick givers. You ever heard this? Life will be good. You ever heard that? Did your mom ever tell you don't date anybody you wouldn't want to marry? Well, don't book anybody you don't want to recruit. You don't have time to face the world. Got to have discernment there. Okay? There's the two kinds of people in your unit. Y'all take your right hand. Take your finger. Everybody's got take your right finger and draw the V on your forehead. Everybody wears a V. The V either stands for victim or victor. Everybody's wearing a V. Who are the people in your unit? What V are they wearing? That's how you know who to work with. Woe is me. Remember, everybody's got a story. But only when you're successful do you want to tell the story. And so you want to look for the people that are victorious in areas of their life. They are victorious. They're not always the victim. You want to look for servant leaders. Who in your unit is a servant leader? Who gets there early? Who stays late? Who's there to serve you? Those are the women that are going to serve others. And you have to be a servant leader in this business. Hard workers. Y'all, I wish you'd have known me before Mary Kay. I was the same. I was the hardest working woman you ever met in your life. See, how many of you are willing to work hard? She works hard for her money. That's my song. So hard. I mean, I'm telling you, I do. And that's who you want on your team. I'm not afraid of hard work. We were created for hard work. The toilsome labor under the sun. You know, we were created for that. But when you are walking in your calling, you won't ever be tired. Because you are on purpose with what you're doing. So look for the people that are hard workers. I don't care if they're waiting tables or the presidents of companies or they're hard workers. That's who you want. And high energy level people make everybody excited. So you want higher energy level people in your life. They're in your unit right now. You just hadn't discovered them. They probably don't know what to do because they've never seen you do a skincare class. Okay? Okay. You also want positive people. You also want independent people. People that are independent. And most importantly, you want honest people. Integrity's real high on my list. And I want an area that I can trust, and I have it. You just, y'all, if you could one day stand behind the podium or look out at the Wild Horse Saloon and watch your people two-stepping out there, or being at the Grand Ole Opry with them like we were, and hear Martina sing, "This one's for the girls." And to know those are people that are in my life because of the choices I have made for 22 years, because I went out there and held that dumb skincare class. Your little shoulders should have wedges in the crease up here from hauling the showcase. They should have wedges up here from hauling those showcases, because those are your stripes. Those are your victory stripes. Victory stripes. I want to see some stripes being worn out there. Okay, write this down too. Character is revealed in adversity, not created. Character is revealed in adversity, not created. How do you handle stress? What happens when you squeeze a lemon? What do you get out? Lemon juice. When you squeeze people, their true colors come out. And you want people in your area that under pressure, that they still come out with a victorious spirit. You understand that? And so I just will tell you that if you don't learn to fail forward to success, then you will never learn. Mary Kay always told us she had the bloodiest knees of all. What did that mean? That means that she fell down, you guys, and she crawled and she got back up. We all get down, but we don't stay down. And I can tell you, I know that people are going to be national sales directors by how you handle what happens like at a leadership conference. I moved my room twice the first night I got here because things were wrong. But by the time I'd been with that bellman that long, I was his new best friend. You understand? Same stuff happens to two different people. One person that makes them better. One person makes them bitter. And the bitter person wants all you ought to know about it. So you want to find people that can handle some squeezing and still come out. So I just will challenge you, start looking at that in the people that you're going to work with. Trials and perseverance will lead to wisdom with the right spirit. Really, we should consider it joy when we go through those trials, because that's really how we are. Remember what? Iron sharpens iron. And when you're in the trials, just remember, you're being sharpened. And the axe, when it's sharp, less skill is needed. Now, once you've identified, so you with me on so far, what have we've discovered? That we're going to identify the people we want in our national areas. Am I right? The people that we want to work with. And maybe there are people in this room that maybe you're even too old to be a national sales director, and you're thinking, well, that's not something I need to worry about, building offspring sales directors. Be clear on this. It's the only thing you need to worry about. Because that is your retirement for the rest of your life, because you never have to retire as a director. Nationals have to retire at 65. Sales directors don't. Be a director till you're 105 and let those offsprings keep on working. You know? It's still your retirement plan. So no matter what the long-term goal is, you need offspring sales directors. You got to pass it on. What did Mary Kay tell us? What's our one and only job? To give your job away, to pass it on. So that is your priority. And I'll just tell you guys something. I have friends that are incredible directors, incredible women, won Cadillacs, did all the things, but they weren't realizing their only job was to develop the leaders around them. And today, they have so much regret. Do you understand? Change your focus today, to develop the leaders around you, the people that are put in your path, that have integrity, that are women that are servant leaders, the people that have a great work ethic, and you develop them to the position of Mary Kay Sales Director, and your life will be abundantly blessed financially and in every other way. So once you've discovered who they are, and now if you really do look at your unit and there's no one there, pretty simple what you got to do. Go find them, but guess what? Those other ones got there somehow. So don't go find the same people. You picked them. They all come back to you if you're their director. Whether directly or indirectly, it all leads back to you. Right? Those three fingers are pointing right back to you. Okay? So, okay. Now, wouldn't you agree you've got one or two that have these qualities? Maybe 10 or 20. You just didn't, maybe they haven't held the Heber Skeeter class, maybe they only order $200 a year, but they're the women of excellence that could be great leaders. Do you understand that? This is what you're going to do. You're going to call her. I suggest you call her from here. And you tell her during your lunch today, I have thought about you all morning. This morning a woman trained on what a woman of excellence is, and you are that woman. And I want you to know that I see these qualities in you. And nothing would make me prouder than to have you on my arm as an Offering Spring Sales Director. Now, I don't know if this is something you've ever thought about, but let me just ask you, are you happy with your life today? You know, could you see the possibilities of a career in Mary Kay? Would you allow me just to come and show you how it could be possible? And if nothing else, could I just hold a party in your house? Could you get some girlfriends together and let's do a Mary Kay party? Because I want you to see me in action. I want you to see me make a stranger a friend. I want you to see women love this product and love me and love you because of your servant's heart. I want you to see the blessings of being a great consultant first, so you can understand the blessings of being a great director tomorrow. It got to start at the bottom, doesn't it? But you got to tell her first. So tell her why you have chosen her. Ask her if she's happy with her Mary Kay business. Does she want more? And then give her a realistic expectation of what will it take to move up in her career. We've developed, thanks to lots of great people, Julianne Nagel in Salt Lake City gave this to me, and I'm sure over the years we all share ideas. But it's called the price tag. And it's the price tag of what it costs. And I'm going to give you a chart of what it costs. You could sit down with this person to develop her into the leader that you know that she is. And it's based on the number of classes that she is willing to hold. Now be clear, they're full circle classes. What's a full circle class? You sell sets. You sell sets. You turn a lipstick cell into a lipstick plus satin lips, a lip definer, and a lip outliner. I mean, you learn to sell sets. You sell the miracle set, the ultimate miracle set. You sell the bag. How many of you ever sold a bag? Cha-ching! Feels good, doesn't it? Well, I'll just tell you, one of my directors is a brand new director because we taught her about the bag, and her first 6 weeks in Mary Kay sold 29 roll-up bags filled. 29. So guess why? Because she was being led by example. Everybody sells the bag in our area, so that's all she knows. So raise the bar for your people. Go fill up 6 bags and sell them and tell me you will go to your meeting fired up. Best dang meeting you ever held. And bring your 6 hostesses to sit on the front row, because if you sold all those bags, they're happy women because they want a lot of free product, and all of a sudden you change the complexion in your unit in a week. Do you know that? And those women that bought the bag and were hostesses where you sold the bag, guess what they're going to do? Order inventory and sell the bag. And all of a sudden you've got a brand new unit. You're on target for your Cadillac in a month. Doesn't take a lifetime to move up. It just takes sometimes a lifetime to make a decision to move up, okay? So here's the formula. Number 1, okay, if she wants to be a senior consultant, maybe she's never gotten a recruit, maybe she's gotten 100 and she don't have one today, but if she wants to be a senior consultant, she got to hold 4 full circle skincare classes. So the left-hand side, put senior consultant, and then put a little row that says classes, and she needs 4. At each skincare class, she needs to hold at least 2 interviews. Weren't you always taught that? There's 2 people at each class. Do you think Mary Kay thinks would be good at doing what we do? Select 2 people, so 2 interviews from each class. So that would be 8 interviews. 4 classes would result in 8 interviews, which will give her 1 to 2 team members. Wouldn't you agree? She's going to recruit 1 out of 4? Because you're probably going to even be helping her at this point, right? So 4 classes and she'll be a senior consultant. And if she wants to be in her red jacket, a star recruiter, 6 classes. If she did 2 interviews from each class, that would be 12 interviews. And I can say these numbers, and these are just numbers that have worked for me and my personal unit. And wouldn't you agree that all of us, that those are numbers that you could stand on, that sounds realistic? Okay. So if she did 12 interviews, she's going to probably have 3 to 4 team members. Wouldn't you agree? What's 3 team members? Red jacket. Okay, 6 classes. If she does 10 classes, full circle classes, and she did 20 interviews, she would probably have at least 5 team members, so she's a team leader. Future director, DIQ, 16 classes, would be 32 interviews, and probably giving her 8 team members, right? Grand Achiever, 24 classes away from a car. Doesn't that sound exciting? 48 interviews, 12 team members. And director, 42 classes, which is 84 interviews, 30 team members. Now, one of the exciting things about that part, a DIQ with 8 team members, the DIQ plus 1 is 9 people that each did 5 classes, would be 45 classes. Are you with me? So she can see, no? Okay. Team leader, 10 classes, 20 interviews, equal 5. Future director, 16 classes, 32 interviews, equal 8 recruits. Grand achiever, 24 classes, 48 interviews, equal 12 team members. Director, 42 classes, equal 84 interviews, 2 per each class, which is 30 team members, which is the size of you must have for being a unit. And if you had 8 people to submit with, future directors need 8, plus the DIQ is 1 is 9, and all 9 of them did 5 classes each, is how many classes? 45 classes. So if her people, if she's leading by example, she's holding Full Circle skincare classes, she's taking people with her to watch Full Circle skincare classes, that's all they know, you guys. And therefore, they're starting to build strong, independent, financially sound businesses. And wave on wave. Wave on wave, you know that song? Wave on wave, that it passes on, okay? Now, work with her weekly plan sheet to see how she can hold these classes. Because that's time management, time is everything, am I right? It's the time that we have to do it. But here's what I would recommend her to think about. How many of you do a weekly sales meeting? How many of you give your people an opportunity to bring models prior to the meeting so they can be earning and learning at the same time? I highly recommend it. If she brought 3 or 4 women to her weekly sales meeting, there's 1 class. She's the hostess. Or it could be even the hostess bringing the group. Am I right? And then on Saturday, she held 2 classes, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. She could work one night and Saturday morning and afternoon and hold those 3 classes. Doing that, in 2 weeks, she would have held 6 classes and she'd be in her red jacket. Do you see, if you move people up quickly, they'll be a lot more excited? Okay? In 3 weeks, she'd be a team leader, just holding 3 a week. 1 on Monday night meeting or whatever night you do it, and 2 on Saturday. Okay? In 5 weeks, she'd be a DIQ. In 8 weeks, she could earn the use of her first career car. 14 weeks, director. 14 weeks of 3 classes per week is 42 classes. How many of you would like to grow your unit size by 30 new people? How many of you realize you can personally do that all by yourself in just a few weeks of personally holding Full Circle skincare classes? And I will just tell you the reason I know that this is not being braced nationwide, because I promoted this to my area for the month prior to leadership conference. So they had 4 weeks to do 5 Full Circle skincare classes in 2 weeks' time. Each class had to be at least $200 in sales. Each class had to have at least 2 bookings from it and at least 2 interviews from it. And in my area, we had 5 people do it out of 75 directors. And I have the best directors in the company. So if my directors aren't doing it, and they are founded on the skincare class, I know that company-wide that we're not doing it. And I think if we will plug into that, it just solved every other thing that we're dealing with. That's what I personally believe. Okay, here's what you're going to do. So you give her, and you see what we've done? We've selected the women of integrity and of excellence that we want to work with. I've talked to her and asked her, how do you feel about your business? Told her why we think she would be a great leader. We've coached her on what the price tag is for moving up the career path, that it's related to holding Full Circle skincare classes. We sit down with her with a weekly plan sheet so that she can see where she can fit this into the gaps of her life. And then very quickly, by coaching her and talking her through when she's held the classes, she's getting the results that she needs. And if she's not owning those skills, then she needs to watch you do more of these classes, right? So you're going to set up the coaching calls to encourage her, take her with you, most importantly, to watch you work. Show her how to book, to sell sets, and to do interviews. Maybe 3-way interviews on the phone with her people. So she's hearing your words. Remember what? The sheep know the shepherd's voice. She needs to hear your words. Because when she's doing these things, then she is going to get the results. Match your time with their effort. I personally have always taken ownership in my unit of having a unit within a unit. When I became a sales director, it took 24 unit members to become a Mary Kay sales director. So in my mind, I was always responsible for having at least 24 personal active recruits on my team. Then I went on a top directorship one time, and Monique Todd, I was real flippant. I was having lunch with her, and I said, well, how many personal recruits do you have? Thinking I had more. And she said, oh, I have 40. I never let it fall below 40. And I went, great, that's good. And so I went home and got to 40. Because when your friends are doing better than you, it raises your bar. And then I never let it fall below 40 in all these years. So I have 42 personal active recruits in my personal unit today, but I've had it all my life, so it's not anything to really brag about. But I'll tell you this, that my personal recruits do enough to do a Cadillac production almost every month. 15,000, 18,000, my personal, so my 13% check, my whole career has been enough to buy a St. John suit a month if I wanted to. It's so, guess what? So will yours be. This is the same avenues of income. Equal opportunity employment, okay, right here. Okay, so take ownership. I want you to look at your personal sheet. How many do you have on there? And if it's not at least 30, which is probably what you had to do to be a director, then you need to raise it. Take ownership. Direct your ship. It is your ship. It is your check. Guess what? Consultants recruit consultants. Directors recruit directors, and nationals look for and recruit nationals. So you go out and look for directors, okay? The bronze, silver, and gold medallions for Career Conference 2004. Who's going to be at that luncheon? It is unacceptable if you're not at that luncheon, because you can get them all yourself. You can get them all yourself. It's not conditional on your unit. You can do it yourself, and if the unit isn't, you better. So just claim it that you're going to the luncheon. Career conference isn't even 24 hours long. The lunch is a big deal. You can do that, okay? So I encourage you to set your goal that you're going to be at that luncheon. I'm going to close out my class with some great wisdom. The wisest man to ever live, Solomon, said, "A man can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in his work." That gave me such a peace and a relief when I read that. And that's in Ecclesiastes also. But it's just the whole idea that, you know what, we all need our basic needs met. We need shelter. We need food. And when we're living in the burden of all that debt on your credit card, debt in your life, then your basic needs many times aren't being met. So you stay so confused and in that spirit of confusion that it's hard to think abundantly and step outside of the fire. Does that make sense? So your Mary Kay career, you guys, my sales, I'm an Emerald Star consultant almost every quarter. I still love to sell this product. It's an avenue of income for you and for me. The 13% check, your personal recruiting check is an avenue of income for you and for me. Your director's check, your bonuses, the volume, all of that is an avenue of income for you. So claim that income. Reach out there and grab all of that and step out of that confusion. Because once your basic needs are met, there is nothing greater than to find satisfaction in your work. It's such a gift to love what you do. Now be clear, just because it's not easy doesn't mean it's what you should do. That's important to understand. Okay? Remember, iron sharpens iron, and we all fell forward to success. When you choose this road less traveled by, it does take all of you. Remember the thread of success that I had in the beginning of my business that was so fragile? The only way that thread was strengthened into a cord that's not easily broken is through the action and through the successes. To break through the strongholds and slay the dragons from your past. To stop the generational curse of being a victim. No pain, no gain. To master the skills that you need to move up in this business will require all of you. And so don't doubt that you're not walking in your calling because it's hard. No one has shed more tears than me in their Mary Kay career. It's impossible. I've shed a river of tears. Growth. To be all that I was called to be does take all of me. And the more you've been through in the past, the more you got to grow. But the greater leader you will be tomorrow, and the more empathy you will have for others. So I study harder. I worked on my class for 7 hours in my hotel room. I didn't even take a shower or eat. I just came in and worked for 7 hours on this simple class. Does it sound like it just falls out of my mouth? That I don't even have to prepare? That's the way it should sound for you. But you do have to prepare. Because you guys, I believe with all my heart, this is it. I don't know what Pam shared with you. I know it was incredible because I trust her so much and I love her so much. But I know that her foundation is the same as mine. So this is the way I'm going to close out. When you master these few skills, then you've got it all. Learn to make a stranger a friend. How many presents have you given away since you've been in this hotel? Nobody cleans my room without getting a gift. I blessed everybody in my path. My job is I'm Santa Claus for planet Earth. God's assigned me. And I'm going to bless everybody in my path that I possibly can, every day that I possibly can. 12 hand creams cost you $4. You can make 12 people really, really happy for $4. I always bring a bag of presents, and everywhere I go, at the Grand Ole Opry the other night, I had my cowboy hat on, and we were just having, and I kept standing up, and then nobody else was standing up. Like I was standing up, I wanted to stand up the whole concert, right? Because I was just having so much fun. And I turned around to tell the girl behind me, I didn't know if it was a girl, but to tell the people behind me I apologized because I was standing up. And she said, oh no. She said, I'd rather watch you than the concert. She said, you were having so much fun. She said, all of you, who are you? And I said, we're with Mary Kay. We're in Nashville for our annual leadership conference. And she said, well, I don't know who you are, but I'd love to be a part of your group. And I said, well, you know, you could be. But then the music started again. So you got to have discernment and when to shut up and when to keep talking. So I said, I'll give you a present after a while. She said, oh, that would be great. And in my purse, even though I was out of town, and you understand, I always have my presents. I had my presents. I had a color card. I had a little hand cream. I had all kinds of stuff in the bottom in my purse. So when it came time and there was a little lull again, I turned back around and I said, well, my name is Cindy Williams, and I'd love to give you this gift. And her girlfriend was there, and I gave them color cards and a little hand cream. And I said, you know, I'd really love to get to know you better and make a new friend. And I said, where are you from? And she said, I'm from Nashville, but I just moved here from San Diego. And I said, I'm going to be in San Diego next week, and I'm going to be doing a skincare class. Guess what I'm doing in San Diego? Face in case. I said, I'm going to be doing a skincare class. And I said, I don't know a soul in San Diego. Would you get somebody to be a model for me? I bet you know people. She says, oh, girl, I know everybody. And the girl said, oh, yeah, we can get Heidi and Mary and Susie to go. And so they're giving me a whole list of people. And then, anyway, I'm just going to tell you, because I blessed her because I was conscious of not wanting to bother her. See, I'm a servant leader. I couldn't stand up in front of somebody and not turn around and apologize for it. I couldn't do it. And then it enrolled her in my joy. I blessed her with a present. I'm following up. That's how it works. You make a stranger a friend because you're the giver, not the taker. What if she'd have said, well, sit down? I'd have probably given her 2 presents. It's important you have the spirit right, because people that are mean to me, as happy and as positive as I am, have to be hurting inside. And I don't know what house they're living in. I would never say wrinkles to them or next. I kind of say next, but I say it with love. I just say, bless her, Lord, because she knows not what she does. And I bless her, and I give her 2 presents, and I squeeze her little hand, and I say, you have a great day. It was an honor to just, I don't care what she does to me. No matter 70 times 7, I'm going to bless them back, right? You build relationships and trust like that when you have that spirit. You build relationships and trust. She's going to give me her friends' names. She trusts me with her friends. Do you understand? It's who we be in all areas of our life. You're going to book her. So you're going to make a stranger a friend, build relationship and trust, whether it's in a skincare class or on the street or in your sales meeting. You're going to book her. You're going to coach her. You're going to sell her product. She looked at me and said, you look so good. Do you really use Mary Kay? People don't know, y'all, the outside world. I said, I've been in Mary Kay 22 years. I won 10 pink Cadillacs, and I promise you, there's nothing on my face but Mary Kay, and it hadn't been for 22 years. She said, own some. Sell her product. Okay, you got the plan? Sell her product. Recruit her. Teach her how to do what you have done. How? By example, by example, by example. Pass it on. Pour belief into others. Educate, inspire, counsel, motivate. Coach her. Empty your cup. Bread broken and wine poured out every day. Every day. This Mary Kay leadership journey is not the easiest road, but for me it is the road to wisdom, and that wisdom has brought me to NSD. And the only goal that I have today is I want my people to have what I have so much. I have everything. I have more exceedingly abundantly than I could have ever dreamed of in my whole life. And if I don't pass it on, shame on me. If I'm driving around in my pink Cadillac and spending my check and making the money and not giving it back, shame on me. And if you are in this arena, if you're in Mary Kay and you're blessed with all these people that love you unconditionally, you're in the spirit of acceptance and peace and opportunity, and you don't pass it on, shame on you, because what you do and what you do not do has an everlasting effect. Forever and ever. What you do today, we see, but what you do not do, you will never know. The lives you didn't touch because of your lack of obedience to master the basic skills. I challenge everyone in my class to promise me that you're going to go home and do a perfect start before the last day of February. You're going to go 5 full circle skincare classes in 2 weeks if it kills you. With a $200 per class sale, 2 bookings and 2 interviews. You're going to master this business, and then you're going to be able to lead people to anything that they want in Mary Kay. Because what do you want? To let it be me. NSD, let it be me. Y'all say it together. NSD, let it be me. Say it again. NSD, let it be me. Thank you.